welcome back to my channel. It's Dana Ray here as always. Thank you guys for coming back. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for sending me messages saying how much this channel is helping you, or at least having some type of influence on your life. I hope that is what I am doing, because that is my only goal here, to influence your life in a positive way by words of my life and my experience. So today I'm going to start, because this video is probably going to have multiple parts. So I'm just going to start with what has happened so far on my faith journey. It's been long awaited because I feel like I've just been waiting to do this video, or to at least to start on this series of videos for a long time. So I hope that this encourages someone to have faith, to trust in the Lord and let him lead you and give you the life that you could probably not even dream of. So I'm going to say my faith journey started, like really started, after the horrible breakup that I had in February of 2020. And I'm going to say that I gave my life to Christ on February 12th of 2020, the day that I found out that I was free of any type of HIV, STD, or any type of disease that I could have contracted during my time with this person. That day I submitted my life to God, to Christ, to Jesus Christ, the Son of God the Father. I decided that I was done going in my own way. I was done trying to control my own life. I was done trying to pick my own mate. I was done trying to pick my own way in life. At that moment, I knew that God had always been with me. I knew that I didn't have to figure things out anymore on my own. I knew that he was there to direct me. I knew he had answered my prayer, and I knew that he saw everything that I had gone through, and I truly believed that he was going to take me through that lowest time of my life. So as my healing journey continued, he continued to show himself to me. As I submitted my life to him, he showed me who he was. He showed me that he was real, and he showed me that he was watching my life and wanting to lead my life if I would just submit my will, give up my will for his. And that's how it all started. So a couple of days after I had gone through, or found everything out, this girl that I know, she reached out to me and she said, hey, you should look into travel x-ray. And I kind of said more in depth in the stories previously. And I was like, okay. I was like, it sounded really good to me, because of course I want to get out. I want to leave. I want to be done. I want to run away and start my life over. So, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'll look into it. And I had wrote down, I said, Lord, if I can save this certain amount of money by a certain amount of time, so I can start travel, then that to me will be a sign that this is something that you want me to do. Because at the time that I submitted my will for God's will, I did not want to ever be out of his will again, because out of his will is what got me this pain. But also it caused me to turn my life to him. So it was all orchestrated. He allowed it. I'm not saying he brought that person into my life, but he already knew that was going to happen. And he already knew what was going to happen to me in my life as a result of that time. He knew that I would run to him, and he knew that he had already called me and he knew what it would take for me to come to him. So I look at that whole situation differently now. It's not like some horrible time in my life. Like, yes, I do not ever want to experience anything like that again, but I know why it happened. And now I can have joy about it, because if it would have never happened, I would never know the Lord the way that I know him now. I would never know who I am, like in him. I would have never been able to seek him. So anyway, back to the faith journey. So I was like, I want to look into this or whatever. And I felt like I wanted to have a good amount of money saved. Mind you, I am horrible at saving money. I can't keep a doggone $1,000 in my savings account for crap. So of course I wanted to save a lot more than that to get started on my travel career. So I knew that if I was able to do that, then it truly meant like, I felt I was going to know that was God. Like, that was him saying, I want you to go do this. Like, this is okay. This is something that is okay for you to do. So anyway, by July, I had saved up the money or whatever. And I was like, okay, it must mean that I'm supposed to go. Mind you, like, we're in the middle of COVID. Like, I never missed any money. I was able to be a donor, like a stem cell donor, and earned like money. But initially when I signed up to be a donor, I wasn't doing it for money. I didn't know that I would get any money from doing it. And it ended up being one of the methods that like got money in my savings account. Like, God will do and use anything. Then of course we all got the stimulus check that went to my savings. Like, I was able to still work a job, not even really be there for the job. Like, I was able to keep working all of my jobs during COVID when other people had been laid off or were not able to do that. I made more money last year halfway not working than I've ever made. Like, I know it was him. It was him making a way for me to save this money, because this is something he wanted me to do. The promise that I am in right now is something that he wanted me to do. And he allowed me to do it because it's something that I also wanted to do. So I saved the money and I was like, okay. And I was like, so Lord, you're going to have to lead me to the right company, because there are tons of travel companies that you can work with. So I was like, you're going to have to lead me to the right company. So I had talked to this lady with this company. This is the first person I had talked to. We were on the phone for like 45 minutes. Like, I really connected with the lady or whatever. And then I talked to some other companies, but all those other companies, they act like, because I wasn't trying, because I talked to this girl in like March. Because I was trying to get as much information as I could. I talked to her in March, and because I didn't want to start until the late summers, fall, nobody else really was trying to talk to me, because they was trying to get people who want to work now. But she like stayed on the phone with me. She told me like everything just about the field in general. She actually was an x-ray tech before she even decided to be a recruiter, like for a travel company. Like, a lot of things connected, and I was like, and I felt peace with her. So I was like, okay, whenever it's time for me to start out, God showed me, who it is I'm supposed to, what company it is I'm supposed to go with. Because despite popular belief, the Lord is very, and I say God the Father, I say Lord Jesus, like all of them together, they working together. Very intentional, very meticulous. Very, like, he cares about the small things. He cares about the little decisions. He wants you to seek him for all of those decisions. So I was just like completely open, like, you tell me what company to go with, blah, 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 blah. So I ended up, like, one day I was at work or whatever, and I was actually talking about this girl in this company. And I hadn't talked to the lady in weeks. I mean, it was weeks. And randomly, at the same time that I was talking about her, I got an email, and she was sending me a contract, like an example of a contract. And I knew. Now, I was caught up in some new age stuff at that time. So I thought it was the universe. But now when I look back in retrospect, it was God. Like, it was him, like, confirming that this was the company that I was supposed to go with. At this time, it was so like, it was probably the Holy Spirit, but I didn't know that it was that at this time. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, how does this happen at this time? This is crazy. But now in retrospect, I know that it was the Holy Spirit. Like, I know that he was just giving me an unction and showing me that this is the company that he wanted me to go with. So I went with this company, of course, and when it got closer, like, so I started applying for jobs in July, contracts and stuff in July. There was no jobs hardly because it was in COVID, and despite like what like nursing, there's like a demand for nursing and travel nursing, the demand for travel respiratory therapists because it's COVID, but not so much a demand for x-ray techs because you don't need as many x-ray techs per hospital or per facility like you would other allied health professionals. So there was like no job. So my recruiter, like, she kept sending me stuff and I kept turning stuff down. In the meantime, when I was like waiting, to decide waiting to save my money and everything, I had come up with, a number that I wasn't going to settle for, like a weekly pay amount that I wasn't going to accept the job under because I wouldn't be able to afford it, because I would have to pay 2 rents or whatever. So I come up with this amount, basically like, don't send me no contract that's paying less than this a week because I can't afford it. So initially the things that she was sending me, it was like not the right amount of money. I was turning stuff down. And I mean, at the same time, I still had my 3 jobs in Charlotte. I was fine, like, with turning stuff down because I wasn't in a hurry, because I feel like when you get in a hurry, then you start to accept things that are less than or that are not the right thing. So I just kept, she kept giving me contracts. I kept turning things down. Some things I told her, that had the right amount of pay. I was like, yeah, you can go ahead and submit me for that. But I never got a call back, never got interviews. Like, this went on and on and on and on. I feel like it wasn't until maybe October. Like, so mind you, this is June, July through October. And actually, let's go back to August. So August, I happened to go, it wasn't August. It was Memorial Day weekend. I happened to go home for Memorial Day weekend to visit my family. And I had a dream, and I'm a dreamer. I had a dream that I left one of my jobs, and I had been seeking the Lord about, should I just quit my jobs and have faith, like, and just have no job because I know that you're going to bless me with this job? Like, should I wait until I have another job lined up, like a contract lined up, before I quit my job? So anyway, I had a dream that I left one of my jobs, a specific job, a job that I had with a school. And so I knew in that dream, God only had to give me one dream because, like I said, I'm a dreamer, and I can kind of know when he's telling me to do something. So I felt in that dream that he was telling me to leave the school job. And I'm like, Lord, like, I make most of my money at this job, and I love this job because I absolutely loved my students. Like, that was my favorite job. It also was one of my biggest headaches as well, but I loved my students. And I was like, Lord, like, how am I going to make it financially, losing the largest portion of my income? But I knew he was telling me to do it, and I had peace. And I was like, when should I leave? So I ended up making my last day, the last day of the semester, of that summer semester or whatever. So while I was leading up to, my last days or whatever, I wasn't sure if I was making the right decision all the way. Like, I was very uncomfortable because I've never had to depend on the Lord in this way, or I never thought I had to depend on the Lord in this way, because God has been providing for my life this entire time. But of course, I thought it was me. Oh, I'm making my money, I'm doing my own thing, whatever. So when it got closer and I was like, I'm not sure like if this is what I'm supposed to do, but I had already told and gave my resignation, and people asked me like, you don't want to leave, you want to stay. And I'm like, no, like I know this is something that I need to do. Like I know that that's something I need to do. So as it got closer, they ended up finding a replacement for me. And because they found a replacement for me and that worked out for her life, that was like a small bit of confirmation. Like, okay, God is telling you to leave. Like you do need to go because this other person needs your position. Like this person, this job, she needs this job and this is what's going to be better for her life. So God must have something else. So of course, when I'm thinking I'm leaving this job, I'm like, oh, my contract job must go on come open like real quick. Like everybody asks me where I'm going. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going like somewhere soon. It's August, by the way. So I'm like, okay. So I left the job, and the next weeks, like I had no problem like replacing those hours at my PRN job. Hold on, I'll be right back. So yeah, I had no problem replacing those hours at my with my PRN job and my other part-time job. So I was like, okay, that was confirmation for me. Like it was time for me to leave. Mind you, I'm still thinking that, I'm like, oh, I done had to set a little date where I thought I would be leaving, like where I had thought I had a contract, but I had to put like little plane and all this stuff in my calendar because I just made up when I thought the Lord was going to come through for my job. Obviously, he had completely different plans for my life. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop right here with this video because this one got kind of long. This is a long story actually, but I hope you guys stay around because it actually turns out it ends up very great. So I'm going to stop right here where I left my student job in August thinking that a contract job would come open soon after, and that was not the case. And I will pick up in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. And I once again hope that my journey, my story, my testimony will encourage you guys to step out on faith and trust the Lord with your entire life. Thank you guys for coming back, and like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Bye.